Yo Mike, did you hear there's new Supra coming out? Dude, there's been rumors about the new Supra since like the early 2000s. Toyota isn't gonna make a new one. No man, this time it's for real. They've had heavily camo wrapped production versions all over the world for test drives. They'll be revealing the actual car and all its specs at the upcoming Detroit Auto Show. Ha, well I'll be damned. I never thought this day would come. Have they released any specs on it? Inline 6, I hope. Yep. Nice. Turbo? Yep. Oh yeah. Transmission 6-speed manual? No. DCT? Nope. Auto then? Yep. BMW 8-speed automatic ZF transmission. Wait, why does the new Toyota Supra have a BMW transmission? Oh, that's because the new Supra shares its chassis, engine, and drivetrain with the BMW Z4. The Z4? Toyota? What the f have you done? But in all seriousness, I'm not really that, disappointed that Toyota chose to work with BMW with the co-development of the new Supra, because if the idea was to keep the Supra powered by an inline 6 engine, I mean, there's really no one else out there currently that's making any kind of respectable inline 6s. So in that scenario, BMW was pretty much the best choice they could have made. Now the new Supra is rumored to be using BMW's B58 engine, which has been proven to be a fairly tunable platform, so it's only a few iterations away from the N54, which has been pretty much touted as the new or modern 2JZ. So for Toyota, I think they really did a good job teaming up with BMW for the power plant of this car. Now I know a lot of people were hoping that Toyota would come out with their own inline 6 design, the new 3JZ, but really they don't have any modern inline 6 engines that they can really build from, so they would have to almost start from scratch, which would have made the cost of this new Supra extremely high, and pretty much everybody would have just complained about the high price anyways. Now I think the bigger problem with the new Supra is the lack of a proper manual transmission or some kind of DCT transmission. The BMW 8-speed ZF transmission isn't bad. I actually have one in my BMW M235 and it shifts pretty quick for an automatic, but still, for a car that Toyota is trying to push as a sports car, it should have had a little bit sportier transmission, I think, or at least had the option to pick a different transmission than just the ZF. I'm not one of these manual transmission elitists that think that the car should have been manual, but at least a proper DCT would have been preferred over the BMW ZF. And especially teaming up with BMW, they seem to be one of the few manufacturers actually offering a lot of cars with a manual transmission, so I would have thought they would have had an option, but apparently that wasn't the case. Looks wise at first, with all the shots of the camo wrapped cars, I wasn't really a big fan of the looks of the car. Now with some of the leaked photos, the front of the car actually looks really good, and so does the rear. The only issue I see is the overall dimensions of the car seem like really short and really stubby, so I don't know how well the car is going to look overall, but the leaked photos of the front and the rear actually looked really good. But I think once you put those in proportion with the overall size of the car, it's just going to look a little bit too short, maybe a little bit too tall, and really stubby. That's one reason I wasn't a big fan of the Supra sharing a platform with the Z4, because the Z4 is a pretty small car, and the Toyota Supra was never really a tiny car. So removing the unusable back seats that the Mark IV had in turn for a true two-seater in this version, I don't know if that was the best decision for BMW and Toyota to make for this car. If they could have just lengthened the wheelbase of this car a little bit more, I think that the overall looks would have looked a lot better. And we still haven't got a good look at the car without any camo wrap, so the car was gonna finally be revealed at the upcoming Detroit Auto Show in January, so we'll finally be able to see the actual look of the car without any kind of camo wrap and without looking at it by just seeing a few leaked photos. So overall, I think at first I was kind of disappointed in the way Toyota was going for this car, but recently I've been kind of getting on board. I think most people were expecting some kind of GTR or NSX type of competitor, but really for this car in the market, I think Toyota is going for, the market really wasn't looking for a high horsepower car. They're looking for more like a nimble, zippy car, which powered by a BMW inline 6, they create a lot of low-end torque and can be tuned for a decent amount of high-end horsepower. So this car should have a decent aftermarket support and have options for people that want to get a little bit more power on this car. I think the biggest problem Toyota had was waiting so long to come out with a Mark IV successor, because the Mark IV has became such a legend and has such a reputation within the car community. I think no matter what Toyota did, they weren't going to be able to make everybody happy. Even if they didn't change anything on the Mark IV and were somehow able to release the car exactly as it was offered in the 90s, people still would have had an issue with it. So no matter what Toyota did, they were going to probably upset some part of the community. So I don't think they could have done anything that would have made everybody happy. We should just be happy that Toyota came back with a Supra that's actually a sports car. I mean, look what Mitsubishi did with the Eclipse. I mean, we could have had a crossover SUV. Now, will I be selling my Mark IV to buy a Mark V? Probably not, but maybe some point in the future it might be a good stablemate to go alongside the Mark IV. The funny thing is, I never thought that when the new Mark V Supra came out that my current BMW M235 was going to have more in common with it than my Mark IV Supra. But I guess that's just how things work out. Anyways, as always, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next one.